Have you ever wondered how a small island city-state like Singapore, far from any tectonic plate boundary, could be affected by earthquakes and tsunamis? In this video, we will uncover the impacts of tectonic hazards on Singapore, specifically the challenges as well as the opportunities that may arise. Are you ready? Let's begin! Most people assume that Singapore is immune to tectonic hazards simply because it does not lie along a plate boundary. However, our geographical location within Southeast Asia places us close enough to one of the world's most active tectonic zones to experience indirect impacts. Understanding these risks is crucial for a city-state like ours, which relies heavily on resilient infrastructure and regional stability. To begin with, Singapore's location within Southeast Asia places it within the influence of one of the most geologically active zones in the world, the Sunda Megathrust. This reality highlights the importance of understanding how even distant tectonic activities can produce indirect but significant effects on countries like Singapore. The Sunda Megathrust is a major convergent boundary stretching from Myanmar to the southern tip of Sumatra and beyond. Here, the dense Indo-Australian plate is being subducted beneath the less dense Eurasian plate in a process known as subduction. Over time, immense pressure builds along this zone as the plates grind against one another. When the stress exceeds the strength of the rocks, it is released suddenly in the form of a high-magnitude earthquake. These megathrust quakes are not only among the most powerful recorded on Earth, but they also commonly generate tsunamis when they displace large volumes of seabed. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, with a magnitude of 9.1 to 9.3, remains one of the most significant examples of tectonic hazards in the region. It triggered a tsunami that claimed more than 230,000 lives across 14 countries. While Singapore did not suffer any physical destruction, the tremors were felt in many high-rise buildings. This brought home the reality that Singapore is not beyond the reach of tectonic forces. Seismic waves are a key medium through which tectonic energy reaches Singapore. These waves, generated by distant earthquakes, can travel thousands of kilometers through the Earth's crust. Although they weaken over distance, long-period surface waves retain enough energy to be felt in structurally sensitive environments, like tall buildings. Residents in areas such as Punggol, Toa Payoh, and the Central Business District have on multiple occasions reported swaying sensations and nausea during such tremors. The underlying science lies in how these seismic waves interact with different building types. High-rise buildings have a natural frequency that may resonate with the low-frequency waves generated by distant megathrust events. This resonance amplifies the motion felt at higher floors. Though these movements are usually not strong enough to cause structural damage in Singapore, they can still be unsettling and occasionally trigger emergency evacuations. The Building and Construction Authority, BCA, has responded by refining building codes to ensure that new developments are more resilient to lateral forces caused by ground motion. Apart from earthquakes, tsunamis are another hazard Singapore cannot ignore. Our geographical position east of Sumatra provides us with a natural shield against direct tsunami impacts, as the island of Sumatra blocks most wave energy from the Indian Ocean. However, studies have shown that tsunami waves, under exceptional conditions, could refract around the island or be generated in the relatively closer Java Trench or Andaman Sea. Simulations suggest that wave heights reaching Singapore's southern coast may be modest, around 0.3 to 0.5 meters, but they can still be enough to affect low-lying coastal zones, especially during high tides or storm surges. Singapore's ports, including the critical container terminals at Pasir Panjang and Tuas, are particularly sensitive to such disruptions. Even brief interruptions can lead to delays in the import and export of essential goods. The Maritime and Port Authority, MPA, and the National Environment Agency, NEA, have been actively involved in regional tsunami monitoring efforts. Through participation in the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System, IOTWMS, Singapore receives real-time alerts from a network of deep-sea sensors and seismic stations. These warnings are then disseminated to local agencies and the public if needed. Preparedness on the ground involves not just high-tech monitoring, but also public education. Earthquake and tsunami awareness campaigns conducted by the Singapore Civil Defence Force, SCDF, and related agencies help to ensure that residents know how to respond if such an event occurs. Emergency evacuation procedures in high-rise buildings have been reviewed and simulated through periodic drills. This dual strategy of technological vigilance and community resilience enhances Singapore's overall readiness. Singapore also invests in academic and applied research on regional tectonics. Institutions such as the Earth Observatory of Singapore, EOS, play a leading role in monitoring seismic activity in the region. The EOS uses GPS and satellite data to track crustal movement across Sumatra and the region, contributing valuable data to the global scientific community, while also refining Singapore's own hazard assessments. This proactive engagement with science underscores Singapore's recognition of tectonic risk, even in the absence of direct exposure. In summary, Singapore's relative distance from tectonic plate boundaries does not eliminate the risk of tectonic hazards. Distant but powerful seismic events, especially along the Sunda Megathrust, can send tremors across the region and generate tsunamis that may reach our shores under rare but plausible circumstances. The impacts may be indirect, but they can still pose serious disruptions to our infrastructure, economy, and public confidence. Through strict building codes, advanced monitoring systems, regional cooperation, and public education, Singapore strengthens its resilience to these distant threats. Recognizing and preparing for the ripple effects of tectonic activity is vital for safeguarding our national well-being. In the next video, we'll take a deep dive into how the increase in tourism rates bring about both benefits and challenges to Singapore. If you're enjoying this journey through geography and want to build deeper understanding, make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your study group. Feel free to visit thatgeographyteacher.com to access resources such as learning guides, suggested answers to past year papers, link to my customized AI learning tool, and exam strategies tailored to the Singapore syllabus. See you in the next video.